Okay folks, in this video we will check out Osmium. Just play a little bit around with it because Jean-Marie already explained all the different parts of the device. This video is a little bit rushed because I basically had no information beforehand on the device except for two pictures. The only thing I know is the things Sean showed in the video on the Reason channel. I thought to myself, let's play a bit around with it. So we tried to make a simple beat by using simple sounds and see where this takes us. So we reset Europa for this. So we only got that sine wave going, and we make the sound a little bit more plucky, and maybe we could raise the octave. Let's find a quick melody. For that we would use chord sequencer here. Doesn't matter what we pick here. Okay, this is just the beginning. We top this off by using an arpeggio lapse on that. So this sounds quite nice to me, so we could close this up. We don't need this anymore. And let's get an osmium on that. And we reset the patch, so nothing going on. Maybe we should play this an octave higher. We apply the wave folder to the input FX, and maybe let's use a morphing filter here. And what we could do now is set the X and Y values using these two LFOs here. So we select module 2, morph filter, morph X, and module 2, morph filter, morph Y. And maybe let's further screw that up. So we got that morphing filter, a compressor to get rid of the very annoying loud parts, so we can tame them a bit, and then we put saturation onto it in combination with that automation going on here. But I'm not finished with my chain, so I could put that in here. And let's disconnect this and go on with my chain. So maybe we need a little cabinet or resonator on that. Now we get a little automation with the curve going, which sends to the drive of the saturation here. So we get a slowly raise of that, which alters the sound a little bit. And we could do the same using the overdrive here and also use the drive of that, maybe a little bit less. I'm relatively happy with this so far, so we go to our next sound. Let's take a subtractor for this and the basic guitar patch. We take our Osmium, which is here, reset it and start from scratch. So let's draw some bass notes here. So we start at F sharp here. Okay, that's very basic, but it's totally fine because we are just trying things out. So let's begin by analyzing what we got here. So here's our spectrum EQ. So the maximum is around 640 Hertz, so right around 700, 800 Hertz ish. Let's get this a little bit more gritty by giving it a little push in the high gain. And maybe the mid. Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's activate the low band. We could solo the low band and just listen to this and decide our effects based on what we hear. So I would use tape for that. Solo the mid band. We could also try a wave folder on that. So let's solo the lows again. And maybe let's go from this into here, deactivate the yellow one, and we only got these combined sounds here where we could put a bit crusher of something. Give it a little bit more top end if we look at the spectrum analyzer. Now we get sounds around here. this little bit of air, and we connect what we have here into the blue one again, so we could do even more to the signal. The thing with the matrix here is you can totally F it up and have it in a feedback loop situation where it quickly gets loud. And the only thing you can do is pull the master down or pull the dry and wet down in this moment, because you maybe will blow your speakers. So keep that in mind and be fast to turn this off if you need to. What else could we add? We could add a compressor to it and maybe some overdrive at the end. Okay, the bass sounds totally fine on my headphones right now. I don't know if it fits with the melody, but you get the idea. So as you know, this is just an example video of me using this device in some of the ways they were intended to. At the end, let's program some simple drums using Red Drum. So we just search our... So the drum sounds fine to me. Let's get a new snare here. Or let's take a rim shot for that. Okay, that's cool. And maybe a hi-hat or something. Like a shaker. I guess we go for the hi-hats. This sounds okay. 32. So we get that good halftime vibes here. And let's... Wow, these are harsh. Let's put some simple 16th notes here in that halftime situation we are in. This is okay for now. Let's see what we could do to drums with Osmium. We put Osmium on here, and maybe let's try some of the patches that comes with Osmium. Let's make this a little bit bigger and close this up. So let's try it with heavy distortion. Okay, this sounds cool to me, so let's lower that to maybe around 18%. Maybe around. So this is a really cool feature, so we could have all these effects in big chains and could always dry wet all of this. So this is pretty cool. We could move around these sliders while dragging, but we also could click between them and move the whole region. I don't know if Sean mentioned that, but that's what it is. What else do we got? We got two different LFOs. We got a curve and a follower, and the follower has a pretty cool feature which lets you choose if you use the whole input or if you just use red, yellow, or green, so the lows, the mids, and the highs. Which is pretty cool because we could use the envelope follower only on the hi-hats or only on the kick, which is pretty handy to read beats. What this offset button does, I don't know currently. Maybe I should read the manual before making videos. There's only one thing I want to try, and that's using external effects on Osmium itself. So we need another element in our beat. Maybe let's try object for that. Okay, this is, as I said, this is not the best example. Let's use Osmium again. And we keep it very simple, so we reset the patch for now. And we just focus on getting an effect in here. Let's try a simple one that everyone can hear. I don't know why you should do this, but it's an option. So we go to our external and internal here, and maybe we should try another effect like Scream, for example, which is a distortion unit in itself, but Scream don't has a dedicated dry wet button or dry wet knob, which Osmium enables for us. So, and last but not least, let's take a sweeper for that and connect it to the external 3. Let's see what we could do with this. Okay, so now we select our external 1, which is currently our replay. And we see we don't have much access here. The only thing we could do is the dry wet and de-level. So there's our slightly more complex delay inside of Osmium. We could close this up and go to external 2, which would be a scream, which sounds hard, but we could tweak it a little bit and use the dry wet mix for here. Maybe a little bit less. And now we take the upper half and use external 3 here and give it a little bit compression and multimode filter. Maybe let's open the multiband here again for the lows. And we start off with an EQ to get, or maybe let's use the filter. We go to the high pass mode, solo this. And now we bring this up using the pitch shifter. I guess that's enough. And we apply a little bit of feedback to it. So obviously this is not the best example, but this is how I approach this new device here. At least what I feel right now is this is a big thing, and I should definitely use it more in the future to get really to get my head around all that possibilities to route. I guess that's all for today. I hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment down below. Please consider subscribing to my channel. This helps me a lot and keeps this channel alive. I guess that's all for today. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.